Daggy and Beaver with you for Show Us Your Tips. Geelong Cup Day, Road to Melbourne Cup continues with, our first international stepping out today, which we'll talk about, in a deep card at Geelong. 10 races to get through, Beaver, plus a good 8-card meet at Warwick Farm. How'd you go getting through all this?
Yeah, it was pretty tricky, actually. The Geelong card, as you mentioned, was quite deep, and it's always a tricky day's racing, Geelong Cup days. So, hopefully we've got a few winners for people there, a bit of value, and you won't need to back too many winners to probably have a positive result for the day.
Fingers crossed. The Caulfield Cup and the Everest is in the books. How'd you fare on the weekend?
Fared okay. It was an interesting day's racing. Looking at Sydney.
How was the on-track experience, I should ask first?
Yeah, the on-track experience was good. It's pretty standard. What disappoints me the most about the on-track experience in the members is, there's one bar outside. It should be 2 minutes to get a drink, and they know it's going to be big crowds, and it takes you 10 to 15 in a queue, if not longer. So I just think they've got a lot of work to do that for a member's experience. Having one portable bar that's, 3 lines and you've got to wait. It's just not good enough. You should be able to walk up, get your drink, and get back to enjoying the day out, and not spending time stuck there.
Remember when before they built this new grandstand and everything else, the old bookies ring at the back, and they could hold 60, 70 and you wouldn't have too many troubles. It used to feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, there was plenty of space. There's probably never enough seats and chairs there. Particularly in the members. You got to get there half an hour early, get in the queue, and sprint to the tables to get a table. So that's always a challenge, and people are wandering around for the first half hour. So if you don't get one of those, you're standing. They just got to make it a little bit better there, particularly for members that are paying good money. And
I suppose realistically, they've got 2 days a year where they struggle. So I suppose it is what it is for the rest of it. But
they should be able to be planned for that.
Well, you're supposed to plan for the A grade.
You're supposed to plan for the A grade, and if the A grade experience isn't great, then why would you come back for the B grade race days? And that's the challenge for them.
Yeah, that's it. The racing itself, we neither of us really saw a kick coming, but great ride, great win, and right through the day was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good day all in all. Cascadian was outstanding. Looked the best value bet on the day to me, even though it was $1.70. Couldn't work out why it wasn't $1.20, and proved it was a good horse. Giga Kick was a bit of a knockout. Probably Nature Strip was probably not the best ride we've seen from J-Mac in a long time. I think, as I said to you, he's pretty arrogant. He didn't need to sit there and ride it like that, and just told in the last 50 he looked home, but condition gave out, and everything else had the sitting shot due to the pace, and you can't win those races sitting 3 wide no matter how good you are.
Yeah, on that sort of pace as well. And the Caulfield Cup, I mentioned I was keen to stick with the Waller runners and got a nice result with Durst, and throughout the card some nice winners. Probably a lip in 2 races short of being a really, really big day. So.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Durston was a good win. It was a bit of a forgotten horse after an ordinary run the prior start. If it probably ran well in that run, I think it was at Newcastle, wasn't it?
Metrop.
The Metrop, that's right. That won at Newcastle, and then the Metrop, it was ordinary, but probably wasn't the best track for it. If it ran well in the Metrop, probably almost starts close to favourite in that race. It was easily missed. The favourite was way too short in the market. I was out on track and said that. I didn't say it couldn't win, but $3.60 just didn't have the quality of form to be that short in the market, and it proved the right story.
Yeah.
Very impressed with Chain of Lightning bouncing back. That was an outstanding win again. That was probably my take out of the day.
And I thought Valana again, as flagged, was a nice win, nice resumption.
Yeah.
So. We did pretty well between the 2 of us. I think if you'd follow our tips, you would. I don't know. Did you end up with the quaddie at Caulfield? Or you missed one.
Just maybe. And I tipped Agon in the last. Paid $11.
Yeah.
That's a good chance.
Durston in mind. So if you paired them both in, well done.
I can't remember if I threw Durston in or not.
I know I did, but in my own one. But I may or may not have left Agon out.
Check the tape.
We'll go back and check. I see. It's almost like I should do some homework. But anyway, we'll make this up as well as we head to Geelong. where the rail is in the true. Should play like Geelong, usually pretty fair as long as all things are equal there. You can come down the outside, you can winners can get up on the rail. So I've treated it as fair, and we're kicking off a 10 race card with the 2400 metre benchmark 70. Story of the day of races like this, where we've got there's not a lot we can really stamp through the card, I don't think. Beaver,
I think that's right.
How are you going to start off? Is this Captain Envious? Was this the one you were spoken the other day, or? Sorry.
No, I don't recall.
That's right. Just your stable.
I think yes.
What are you tipping
anyway?
anyway?
A chance. No, I'm going to tip the top weight. Sous les nuages.
Sous les nuages, yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
You sound French.
It's like Cap de Joie.
Yes.
Or Cap de Joie.
Yes, I think this horse, I like the way it won at Morpheville last start over the 2400. Had a couple of in decent quality races and had a couple of nice runs at Pakenham prior to that in decent races where it was well found in the market. Going back 3 or so months, ran behind Saracen Knight. Look, I think this sets up okay for this. I think the $8 is not bad, and the 2 kilo claim suits. Kamani goes well with these stayers, and it's not a deep field.
Found the same horse. And I like the fact it's ticked the 2400 metre box, which a lot of these hasn't as well. I thought that was a fairly strong win there. You've covered that off pretty well. Protection Money's a bit one at value that sat outside lead over 3,000 last time. I'm still waiting, but I think it can improve from that. Outback Jack Obvious, and I did think Captain Envious was a bit of a forgive last time and can improve after 2 nice wins to start the prep. But I start in the same way with you, race 1, number 1.
Interesting.
The second is a benchmark 70 over 1,700 metres, where I've been with French Emperor since it's headed down to Mick Price. I think the penny's finally dropped. Jamie Carr's stuck. Nice draw here. It did brain a lot of these last time. I thought that was pretty soft actually through the line there. And I'm going to stick here. I think this is a talented horse who's just refinding its way and is going to run well again. And actually didn't have a lot else to talk about here. That was it for me. What'd you make of this?
Yeah, I thought it was similar to you. I thought French Emperor just seems to be progressing nicely with some natural improvement and did break through last start, beating To Be Sure. And I think it's probably its main danger again here today. So given it took care of it last start, they are slightly closer on the weights this time, 2 kilos there. So that probably brings them a little bit closer together. But I just think the others probably got the better draw and slightly more progressive.
The third is again the second part of the race, the 1,700 benchmark 70 as well. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, just didn't get too excited about this one at all. All of these horses have been around about last few starts. I just went for Jenkins. Again, I just thought it was okay at Pakenham last start, liked the way it finished off and hit the line over the mile. Looks to get a similar run here, and I probably just went for it just based on the draw and the fact that it's working nicely into the campaign.
Cool. I'm with the favourite Cuban State. It was a bit of a bigger price last night when I finished this race, but just couldn't get out at the Valley last time. Now Blake Shin's going on, which is a nice upgrade and will run well here. And I thought a little hesitate down the bottom there. It was around the $8 or $9 mark. Can bob along on the pace and is flying. Give you a nice side out in front for Froggy Newitt. But they were the two I was looking at in this race. The fourth is a benchmark 64 over the 1,400 metres, where I have found a bit of value here. I think Russian Roni's going to run well. I don't quite understand the price. It's spent last prep a nice win at Newcastle, then came to a bog and chased home Williamsburg. Has drawn inside gate here for the Waterhouse team and has trialled up quite nicely alongside Caboose, Zuccarino and Paris Dior, who would all start, $1.50 in this race. And it's going to get control, and you're getting $13. So I think it's here to run well from Matron Bullwinkle, who had a nice debut and did some nice stuff through the prep. Both trials were didn't give away a lot. They weren't tremendous at all. But I've got a feeling this is a complete dry tracker because it looks like a big, strong brute. And I think getting back to a dry day, he's going to improve off those trials. But the price sort of reflects that. And I think I'm keen to play the race around those two, and they're going to give you a great sight, Beaver. What are you made of this?
Yeah, I've gone for Matron Bullwinkle myself. Think it can run really well first up. I think it was good when last in work earlier this year. Ran some really nice races. Sits up on the pace. Only just beaten by Attractable, who has shown some good form since we've last seen it. And started favourite at its maiden in Cranbourne and won very nicely, beating Son of the Beast, which goes okay. I think it'll improve, and I think it might be ready for a first up showing. So Matron Bullwinkle on top for me.
Lovely. The fifth is 1100 metre benchmark 64, where I'm always going to default to the lightly raced horses in these sort of races. And I think the price around hypothetical is pretty good here. Fantastic trial coming back for this prep. Its only defeat was on a wet track, or it just got nabbed late, and every other run's been quite good. And I don't think there's a lot. I think it's better than benchmark 64 grade, put it that way, and I think it should have a lot on these, and I like the $5. If I'm looking for swoopers, I just think Hydro Star's the second choice here at over the odds, being honest and running well. $15, you probably want that because it is going to be back and last, and you're going to need a bit of luck. But they're the two I was looking at. Obviously, the favourite can run well here as well, but that's why I've played it, Beaver.
Yeah, I've gone the same. I've gone for hypothetical as well. Resuming here, again, lightly raced, good form. When last in work, gets back here fresh, and I think it can run really well for the Freedman stable. Has a way of preparing these types of horses to run well first up. So I had it on top, and I thought the main danger was Tararua. I thought it finished off very nicely last start and won quite comfortably. I think it can progress and go on well after being fairly good in its last couple of starts.
Beauty. Race 6 is a benchmark 84, 1200 metres. Not for the girls, for a bit of everyone. Who do you like here, though?
Yeah, I like the favourite here, Minx Moment. Gets J-Mac from the Wallace stable here. First up run was only less than a length behind Remark. That's good form for this. Hit the line really well, ninth on the turn. Come home well, gets the extra 100 metres here. And this sets up very nicely from the gate too.
Also gets J-Mac.
Yes.
Nothing more to add. So that's he's on top for me as well. Oh, she is. And, yeah, Dangerfield of Roses flying, as the market suggests. And one at a price if you want one through exotics. Third pick, draft day. I spent the prep on the Syntho. I assume it's because they just don't want it on the dry. So now coming to turf on a dry at $16, I think can run well as well. But Minx Moment will be very hard to beat for my best of the day. We'll say that. The 2200 metre listed Geelong Classic for the 3-year-olds comes up next. And, well, there's no champions in this one, is there, Beaver?
There is no champions here, or doesn't appear to be any champions here at this point in time, which probably makes it a pretty hard race to find the winner. Look, I've stuck with Let's Roll the Dice. I think it's been racing in the best company out of all these horses, and it meets the easiest race it's had in some time now. It's raced in Group 1 races back in April this year in Sydney, and then it's gone down. And I think it's probably been set for this. It's sort of stepped up from the 1200, 14, the Group 2, 1600, where it actually finished off nicely in that, less than 3 lengths behind Tijuana. Look, I think if it's going to win a race and proceed on to probably the Oaks, it needs to be winning this.
I don't dispute anything you've said there. I've ended up, though, putting Ignacio on top, half backing the stable here, sent down from Sydney, J-Mac going on for Chris Waller. Has stuck on okay to date, but I think the other key here is the Reduced choice coming back to a dry track. Has never seen a dry track. I think can improve. Will be on pace, and like I said, in a race with not many stars, maybe we see a good showing from it today. Dream Hour's come back really well. It's going to run well with Ollie on, and could we see something sneaky from Pat Carey with something like a Mogadishu who has had the run over the 2000 or the 2200 and should take improvement from that, and is a crazy price, but not a massive betting race for me here. The Geelong Cup, the feature on the card, Group 3, 2400 metres. I think a ticket into the Melbourne Cup's up for grabs. I assume it is. At least a weight penalty
Normally
would be. I think so, yeah. They've brought that in a few years ago. All our usual suspects are here. Surefire's been back this morning. Who are you tipping?
Well, it has been back this morning, but I'm just trying to line up the form for Surefire. I really liked it first up when it won. Second up was given no chance on a heavy track, and then probably the last two runs have been a little bit below par. Certainly the last start. So I'm just trying to get a form line there. The one that has shown natural improvement is Interpretation. Each time it's come out this preparation. It's had the 3 starts over 2,000 plus. Excuse me, the last 2 over sort of this distance. Sits on pace, will stay the distance. So I kind of was leaning towards it just based on working into the preparation. So I had it on top. I thought Herman Hesse could run well. I thought it was sort of plotted away okay last start. Probably can run well again. It's been very consistent of late. Probably wasn't given all that much luck last start. So I think it can run well as well. So that was sort of the 2 I was looking for. And then probably at the longest market is Midnight Blue. I think it can run well as well. Been thereabouts over the last 4 runs, and probably this is its main chance.
I'm sticking with my horse Macram. Another 100 metres, beat Tame Saracen last start. Before that was unlucky, well, off the rails at Moonee Valley, so you can forgive. And I think it's the horse is flying. My concern is Craig Williams is probably going to take it back again, so we'll need luck. But you're going to get an each way price again. Luncius will run well here. I think best finisher in the Turnbull. I'm already sick of Interpretation, so I've just gone around it. And I was like, I couldn't quite. I came into this race thinking I'm just going to find Surefire, and then I couldn't quite get excited about it. It almost feels like it should be an Epsom horse rather than a Melbourne Cup horse. Or am I crazy? You know what I mean? Like a run on sprinter, a run on miler rather than a stayer.
Yeah, I think that could be right, but we'll see today.
We'll know today. I went looking at Rodrigo Diaz, and obviously that European, being the European horse didn't work, coming here generally stacks up in this race. I just have a feeling, and we'll talk about this when we do our Melbourne Cup preview next week, but I have a feeling it's the wrong horse for a Melbourne Cup. You need to be a more of a 2,000 metre horse than a 3,200 metre horse when you come out from Europe, we've seen. But that's for down the road. I've gone around it here. Good race, and as you said, we'll learn more. Another good race is the Black Pearl, 12,000 metre listed race for the girls, where my top tips come out. So I am left with... you go do your tips first.
Yeah, I've gone for Turaath. I really like it here today. I think it's got a really strong chance in this race. If you go back through its form, first up here in the Group 3, carried the 59 kilos behind Literary Magnate. Was only 2 lengths off that, and that was a pretty highly contested race. So I thought that was a good first up run. And then if you go back last preparation, ran 6th in the Group 3 by Flying Mascot, only 2 lengths behind Sierra Sue in the weight for age Group 1, and finished 3rd in a Group 2 behind Marraby at Moonee Valley. So I think that stacks up really good for a race like this, and I think it's building up to another win.
Cool. Larkspur runs left on top for me. We'll roll forward and back onto the dry. Can improve from last time. The other blue colours gets J-Mac, but is too short now as a result. And I think Mac and Cheese is going to run well in the new ownership colours there, but is a talented mare and might want wet tracks, but trial was nice. Gets Blake Shin and his double figures, so that'll round out the numbers there for me. The last is a 1,500 metre benchmark 78. To finish the card, we have... Where's my notes gone here? Where I've gone, Megamea on top. $6 a field, actually, but Megamea's on top. Has been, I think, racing in better company than this. Some of that sort of B-plus grade mare stuff. And has run well each time, not far off Excelita last start, and finally comes to a racer. It's going to win one again this prep. This will be it. From Beltoro, who is a talented swooper and has trialled up well, could have last crack at these. In a race that's, barely better than midweek grade, really. What have you done?
Yeah, I thought the same with Megamea. Sort of not too bad a value in a race like this. Seems to have better form than these. It's been there and thereabouts in much better company and gets a good chance here today.
Cool. For procreateracing.com.au, check them out. Sign up for their mailing list. And also check out our tips throughout the rest of the week, which, Beaver, you can do tomorrow. I haven't told you about that, but you can do Thursday. I'll do Friday, unless you want to swap. We'll talk about it off air. Best and value.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 9, number 1, Turaath. I think that's
best. Nice.
Super hard to beat, yes.
Ooh,
and my value bet's going to come up in race 10, number 6, Megamea. I think it's over the odds.
And I make my best race 2, number 2, French Emperor. And my value race 4, number 13, Russian Roni, coming down from Sydney for the Waterhouse team. Speaking of Sydney, we get to Warwick Farm, where the rail is in the 5 metre mark from the 1,000 to the winning post, 3 metre the remainder. Nice day in Sydney. I don't think any rain's supposed to turn up till tonight. And we've got, I think it'll get to a dead track by the end of the day. So should all be good for an 8-race card, which kicks off with a 1,400 metre maiden. And I'm going to kick off with the favourite in the 1,400 metre maiden, Golden Age. I like the trials coming that first run. Was okay, just snapped late there. I think just gassed out a bit on maybe a bit of a trickier track. I think gets complete control here, a claim for Zach Lloyd, and is going to be hard to run down. And I do think Ring Ahoy, who did start $1.40 last time and is a little bit luckless, will run better at the $9 price, but I think we've been saying that all prep.
Yeah, I'm going to give Ring Ahoy one more start each way here. I just think the favourite's probably a little bit short. If you back Ring Ahoy each way, you're going to finish out nearly as good a result as if the winner wins. So I think it'll definitely run into a place, if not win. And I think, as you said, the sort of $8, $9, $2.50 marketplace presents reasonable value here. So Ring Ahoy on top for me.
Race 2 is a 2,040 metre benchmark 72. Does King Frankel just win this?
I think it does. I don't think it had the best of luck. I don't think it was ridden very well last start. And it was really heavy going there. I thought it was a credible run, and I think
that was the rails day too.
Probably, yeah, it was the rails day. So I think it probably looks clear on top here. A little bit short in the market, but probably just wins.
Yeah, I agree. Race 3 is the benchmark 68 1,400 metre race, where I'm going to stick with the favourite here, Saturn Star. It gets control of this. The format of that race has been okay. A couple just missed last week, but it gets control here. Improving track will help as well, and is going to be very hard to run down. I think Chairman can improve at a price here. I was given a chance in that staying race. Didn't go in the wet at all. Back to a dry, and another crack at 1,400 metres, I think, is an improver. And obviously Cool Cup getting onto a drier track will definitely... It could actually jump out the ground and brain him here, but I think that's the race, Beaver. Who have you put on top?
Yeah, I've got Cool Cup on top. I think the inside gate suits here. I think he can just jump on the back of Saturn Star, and hopefully the run presents at the right time. And it's got enough sprint to go past the favourite, who will give us a kick and give you a sight. But I like the run behind Cinderella Days, so I think it's got a little bit of talent. And I think the extra couple of hundred here sets up nicely.
The mile benchmark 72 for the girls comes up next, and we see the form coming through that same Canterbury card as Cool Cup. Here again, who have you found?
Yeah, really open a fair, tricky race here. I've gone for the resumer in 1,000 years from the Snowden camp. I think he can run well resuming here. Just trials, it wasn't asked to do much, but going back last prep, look, it wanted a little bit further, but I think interesting, they're starting at 1,600 first start. Won its last start as a really shorty at Hawkesbury over 1,800 and took care of him easily, and ran well at Campbell at the start before that. I think it's a progressive type. I think he can get a nice run, and this is a good little field, but $5 is a nice price. Yeah,
there are a few chances here. I've actually, at the price, I'm putting Starstruck Barbie on top. I think its last 2 runs have been very brave. Just nabbed late by Roots in the shadows of the post last time. after being stuck outside lead there, and is $13. Hopefully gets a better run here. May well be stuck outside lead again, to be honest, and will run well as I go and kick the dogs. And always on show. I was keen going into that run, perhaps flooded by the bias and the wet track there at Canterbury, but I think it's going to run well again here. I'm not taking too much stock into whatever it was 8-length win, but it's still going quite well. They're the two for me there. The fifth is a benchmark 72 over the mile, which has been knocked about a little bit by scratchings. How are you lining him up now?
Yeah, tricky race here. How the race is run is going to depend a lot on the outcome, I think. Zacharias was good last start, leading up and just giving nothing else a chance, but again, might have been a little bit biased by the track conditions and the way the track played. So I think it's hardest to beat, but I have gone for money from the sky. Third up here, both runs in this preparation have been really good, and like the way it won and hit the line at Warwick Farm here last start. I think it'll be further improved by that. Has won course and distance and on top for me.
Yeah, I've got it on top as well, coming off the track and distance win. I think it's going quite well, and I think it can, well, now with the lack of pace, it probably sets up not far off leaders back now, which could suit. What you mentioned about Zacharias is now right, especially given the run it's going to get. I assume bounces straight to the front with the claim there, and we'll see how quickly she goes. And that's about it. We'll see if Lindemann pops up on Saturday somewhere, because I think we can probably get some money out of it at some point, but it's been scratched from here. Benchmark 72,000 metres is up next, where, well, you had an opinion of the horse that beat Sinaloa last start. You're on Sinaloa at Hawkesbury. Are you sticking?
I'm going to stick.
Yeah.
No reason to get off. I thought it was a good little win. This sets up quite nicely. Gate 4, I think it can jump and run. I think the $10 mark's a really good price, and for that reason, I've got it on top. E-Power, got Jury out on and Way to the Stars and Bienella resuming. So Sinola's got the one run under the bench, and so it should be hard to beat.
I think it definitely runs well here, especially at the price, and being the fit 1,000-metre horse. I do think Vianello is the best horse in the race, though, and is coming off a couple of quiet trials. A claim here for Zach Lloyd, drawn to get a really nice run. I think is the horse to beat, and I think it's actually quite a fair price still. And I'm done with Ebha, having got some money out of it this prep. I don't think it's going that good. So sticking with Vianello, and I think Sinaloa is going to give you a great side at the price. Benchmark 78, 1,200 metres is up next, where, well, better the day here for me is Shadow Devil, absolutely flying. I think that Stromboli and Democracy Manifest form is better than this. And if the track's, all things being equal with the track, I think it's going to come steaming down the outside and win this race. Main danger, as Mark just is the poacher, who has done very little wrong this prep. If you forgive the issue it had second up, both other wins have been very, very good. One right outside the market, if you're looking for a quality number, is number 3 More Sundays. But you sort of know you get with her. She'll be back, and if you get lucky, she'll come steaming down the outside for her. But I think Shadow Devil is the one to beat.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you here. I think it certainly looks the one to beat. It's drawn well here, third up, and both runs have been pretty good in good company. So I've got it on top, and I think you're right. I think the poacher is the main danger. Finished nicely last start, and could be the one getting the last sniper's chance.
Cool. And we're wrapping up with a 1,400 metre benchmark 78. How are you finishing a day off?
Yeah, I'm finishing on top with Piccaronis. It's very good last start. Surprised beat a good horse who backed up and showed it had a little bit of quality on the weekend in an suitable race, run race. I think it can be super hard to beat here, and this isn't an overly difficult field. Yep,
on top for me too. Clipper goes on, all good stuff. And I actually have the danger here, and the forgotten horse in a way is From the Bush. I think the stuff it did, what it did last prep was quite good. Very brave, just getting nabbed by Combella Fee, who would be favourite here. And before that, just missed behind Jojo Was a Man, who would be well and truly in the red here. So $16 is I Have the Main Danger. And another one just outside the market, Timpanist, same sort of story, coming back from some midways and Saturdays, and a nice resuming point back in distance. But Roni, as he said, the form out of that the last two starts has been quite good. So that's how I'm finishing off predominantly as well. Again, for progretracing.com.au. My best of the day is race 2, number 2, King Frankel. Not that I'm telling you much of the price, but I think the first 3 favourites on the card are all going to be hard to beat. And a couple at value, race 8, number 3, From the Bush, and race 4, number 7, Starstruck Barbie, can both give you a bit of a sight. What have you made of this, Beaver?
Yeah, I've got my best bet, race 8, number 11, Piccaronis. I think it'll be getting us off to, or finishing us off with a nice end to the day. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 12, Sinaloa.
Oh, lovely. And anything for us at Ipswich?
I better have something up for you at Ipswich, eh? Didn't really like early part of the day on the card. It was a little bit tricky. I think race 4, number 1, Orbison, resuming here. Will be winning around the even money mark. So had that on top. I think race 6, number 3, Sabagal, second up here today, can improve and win. In the 7th race, number 2, Calantha, one first up from the Edmund stable. I think he'll be winning again. And to finish off the day, race 8, number 6, Kudarati, third up after a couple of okay runs from Sydney, can run well.
Good stuff, Beaver. I will see you Friday for our Cox Plate preview as we get stuck into the Cox Plate and the big card down at the Valley. As I said, check out Progress Racing for the tips for Thursday and Friday. Articles will be up there tomorrow morning. Until then, good luck, punters, and we'll talk soon. Catch you guys.